Alright, let me go ahead and factor that in. Difficulty.
I don't feel like me assisting would honestly add any boost die.
And that's totally fair. But this is definitely something that Jay would help out with.
Yeah. And the doors just sort of go...
Can I use that
Keep on the
advantage
jam
to
sets.
recover my last bit of strain?
Of course you can.
That's really relaxing for Rakcharr. I like it.
Physical exertion lowers his strain.
Cathartic.
Yes.
Cathartic.
A deep musty odor emanates from within inside the room. I was going to say musky, but I meant musty, so
Yes.
it's musty.
Well, I kind of waves
just
her
say-
hand in front of her face as she looks inside.
The smell of mildew and mushrooms emanate from the dark.
I hate that I was built with olfactory receptors.
You know, I can turn those off for you, Jay.
You can?
Yes. I'm surprised they haven't shorted out on their own.
So
I
am
didn't even know
I.
you had those.
Are you guys going to enter into the armory?
I looked inside first.
The lights are off and it's dark. Really dark.
Scanner goggles.
Pitch black. Make a perception
Glow
check.
lamp.
Make a perception check. Difficulty
what?
2. If this was an armory, it is no longer being used as such. It is instead being used as what can only be assumed a graveyard / mortuary.
So,
And there's bodies just sort of tossed in there. Some of them still have like little tiny spiders crawling over them.
time for a sanity. Wait. Wrong system.
I
There might be some stuff in there though.
And now let's all take a trip to the fear table.
well, it's... Yeah, I'm not going in there.
Well, come
Yeah,
on.
fuck this.
There might be goodies.
There sure might be.
It smells really bad.
And
Well, of
it will
course.
take forever to get that shit out of my joints.
Well, of course, it smells like really bad.
It smells like
Rakcharr
literally
will say, like, striding in, "Thank goodness for fully enclosed armor. I knew there was a reason why the stormtroopers wore this."
If I can't see anything from the door that stands out as useful, I'm not going
There's
to go
crate.
in. Well, you didn't mention the crate.
Well,
It's okay. I'm wading in with my enhanced optics suite.
all right.
Hey, Rakcharr, just stuff that in your pocket. We can check it later.
It's a big crate.
Do it.
Yeah, well, he's got really big pockets. He's a Wookiee.
So, let's see, I guess since the crate was noted, how big are we talking with this crate here?
Like 3 feet by 3 feet by 3 feet.
Okay.
Okay. So not Wookiee-sized.
It's
No.
half. It's half as big as me in every direction.
So that's possible to, like, I guess Rakcharr will try to lift the crate.
All right. It's pretty heavy, but you can do it.
Alright. Is there, like, a mechanical, like, encumbrance number assigned to this?
Encumbrance of 5.
Okay. Rakcharr lifts it, and, you know, he just, like, sort of, like, shrugs.
I'm not sure what useful stuff might be inside something that only weighs 5.
Like, Rakcharr will, like, look at, like, is there, like, any sort of, like, convenient way to open the crate? Like,
There is a latch.
alright, Rakcharr will, like,
It,
move the crate and deposit it, like, in the hallway next to the others, and then wade back in.
It might only be 5 because containers tend to lower the total encumbrance
Yes.
because
Yeah,
everything's
that's
all
true.
bundled up.
Encumbrance isn't necessarily weight so much
Yes.
as unwieldiness.
You really
Right, that's
don't.
why backpacks and stuff.
You really don't find much else besides a few shorted out blaster pistols, blaster rifles, and what appear to be thermal detonators that have been chewed all the way through.
You know, that's important information all the same.
Just pointing at him, she's gonna say, "Is that safe?"
Did they eat thermal detonators?
Rakcharr says,
Yes.
looks like they ate thermal detonators.
Okay,
Man,
so these things
fuck
do
Spider.
eat droids.
You know, this is important information. Rakcharr likes the idea of, like, picking up, like, these decaying bodies and chucking them, like, across the room to see what else might fall out or, like, come upon them.
Basically, the only things that sort of fall out of them are just more and more tiny spiders.
So you're saying that I have, like, this carpet of crushed little spiderlings spread out in front of me.
Yes.
And probably a full infestation in your, oh, wait, right, you're wearing clothing.
Oh, man. Thank you, encased armor.
Right.
I'm just gonna need to take a fire bath after this. Did you put a flamethrower on me?
Here, just toss him in the ion discharge. It'll be fine.
Does anyone want to open the latched box?
Yes.
Inside the latched box, you find a box of spiders, tiny ones. But there actually appears to be something useful inside of it if you're willing to dip your hand down into the box of spiders.
It's just overflowing with spiders.
It seems like the spiders were actually compressed inside, so much to the point that they flow out.
It's like a
with the opening.
Jack-in-the-Box spider.
Oh my god.
There's
Inside-
thermal spider expansion upon exploding at the air.
A gout of spiders.
I'm glad you mentioned the thermal bit because there are thermal detonators inside this thing.
Oh,
Two of them.
Jesus.
2 of them. Still,
Glad I didn't chase those spiders out by shooting.
2 of them, in fact.
That would have been great. I shoot inside the box.
Oh,
I was gonna,
Rakcharr looks back.
hey, I was going to suggest taking that arc welder and kind of getting rid of them.
well, these tiny spiders are, from what you can tell, more scared of you than you are of them.
As they should be.
Be terrified.
They're freaking terrified and scurrying
I
away
have-
as fast as possible.
I have 2 feet and they are tiny. They should be scared.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's in the box, Jay?
What's in the box?
Nothing.
Ah.
You'll get nothing.
I'll just hold on to these
What are they?
thermal detonators.
Oh. That's kind of... Isn't that
Really
concerning?
illegal.
Isn't that really concerning that these spiders are apparently devouring thermal detonators?
Well, didn't you see him catch on fire when they bit him?
Yeah, but that's kind of what happens.
Oh, I thought that was his mechanics failing. I didn't realize the spiders did that.
He doesn't
Yeah.
smoke that much normally.
Yes,
You-
I think that was the caustic material causing my metal to light on fire.
These things devour and consume thermal detonators. What else have they consumed as part of this starship?
Good question.
I'd rather not think about it. Immediately thinking about the munitions bay.
Well,
Alright, I'm done in here. Just fucking through the last body and come stomping out.
the body
Alright,
basically
so-
evaporates against the wall.
Jay will
Fire.
stick those 2 thermal detonators in his carrying compartment.
Thermal detonators do a shit ton of damage, by the way.
Yes,
Yeah.
they do.
Yeah.
And just to confirm, they are restricted items, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
They're-
restricted.
They're one of the few things assumed to be illegal everywhere.
Got it.
They're already 8 restricted, and they're worth quite a bit.
I don't know if you're gonna be able to. I don't know if you guys are gonna sell them though.
Well, no, but I'm just saying, if somebody were buying them, they would cost a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
And holy shit!
thousands
looking at
of-
the
As they
stats.
should.
Thousands, yes.
Breach 1, blast 15,
So
damage 20.
this is what the Moff is looking for, right? He can't obtain thermal detonators anywhere else, I'm sure.
Right. There we go. Thermal detonator. Add 2.
They are ridiculous.
You
Alright.
know,
They sure are.
I really don't know whether we have the facilities for this on the ship, but do you think it would be valuable if we looked some of these bodies back, the spiders, dead or possibly alive? Could we sell them to some sort of imperial xenobiologist? Is that a thing?
Maybe.
It's a good thing I don't have facial expressions, Rakcharr. And then Jay just starts walking towards the bridge.
These things might be good if these things aren't, a xenobiologist weapon from the Empire.
Laana just kind of wrinkles her nose at the thought of actually trying to capture these things alive.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking dead, sure, but living, no.
I mean, I could keep it in check. I'll just keep punching it until we go back to the station.
They'll
What?
probably die eventually.
All right, you guys gonna continue walking in that way towards the bridge?
Yes.
That away.
All right. Eventually, you come across the sign that says bridge. 2 floors. It says a bridge 20 floors up. And you're next to a turbo lift.
And then
Well,
I
we're
looked
next
at
to a turbo lift shaft.
And then I looked.
It's right there. Happenstance is still right there.
And
Is
then
it
I looked
working?
right beside it to the stairwell.
Yeah. Do you want to take the stairs, or do you want to take the turbo lift that may or may not work?
Wait, whoa. Stairs? In an Imperial ship?
Well, it would more likely be a maintenance hatch with a ladder that goes between the different decks.
Oh my
Jeffrey's
God.
2A.
This is like some Metal Gear Solid 3 right here.
It's some Star Trek. It's some
I know.
Star Trek shit is what it is.
Jeffrey's Tube A.
Yep.
I
I'm
mean,
just going to sigh and say I am not getting stuck inside that thing if it runs out of power.
considering Star Wars, I wouldn't be surprised if we had to climb inside the turbo lift shaft.
Perhaps.
Exactly, Jordan. That's like,
I watched that episode recently. 'Cause I liked Metal Gear Solid 3.
All right, so let's start climbing.
Yep. Quietly grumbling the entire way.
Okay, who's at the top of the stairs or the ladder?
I'll go ahead and like bulldoze away with my shoulders since, you know, I'm Rakcharr.
Sure.
This is probably not going to wear me out. Then behind me can be, or maybe at the bottom can be Jay since he'll never tire.
Yeah, sure. Let the Wookiee climb. Because that's what
That's what his
his,
claws are for.
that's what his musculature and claws and everything are designed for.
All right. It's 20 floors up, so that's going to take you...
Forever.
Yeah, about an hour and a half.
1 metric
What?
forever.
It's going to take you a while.
I imagine we're not staying on the ladder the entire 20 floors either. Like, Jay
Well,
can, but like...
It took us 3 hours to walk a mile, so I'm not surprised if it takes an hour to climb this ladder.
And you're observing everything. Walking.
Like, I mean, that's a bitch of a climb, but...
Well, you also,
It's
you
a
also,
very
you also have to deal with
steep angle.
things happening every now and again.
Jay's like, you meatbags are tired already? I can keep climbing
Hey.
for days.
Jay doesn't say meatbag.
Okay. Part way up, I'm going to need... okay, how do I figure this out? Alright, let me just... Alright. Good enough. I'm going to need Laana and Lissa to make discipline checks as a spider sort of lands on their face. Like one of the tiny
of
ones, but a little bit bigger than that tiny ones, though.
Like, eyeball-sized.
Yes.
Ooh,
Instead
no
of
discipline.
What difficulty?
3.
Either way, she's screaming, so...
Oh. Lissa screams louder. But it's constructive screaming.
Lana just screams and, like, grabs onto the ladder with one hand and starts batting her face with the other.
Yeah. If you fail this, you're going to suffer 3 strain.
Jay
We both failed it,
unhelpfully,
so...
Yeah, so you both suffer 3 strain. But
Jay unhelpfully draws his gun, points it up at them, and goes, "What? What is it?"
Rexer like stops climbing, like looks down and like points like his vibro knuckles, like ready to fight. Like, oh,
I look back up and notice the spiders had actually fallen off of Rakchar's armor. Give a little frown and start climbing again.
oh, are you taking into account your damage thing, Grimith? You're damaged, by the way.
I had completely forgotten about the fact that I needed to take that Wookiee rage into account.
Yeah, well,
But my character was just so calm and peaceful,
Okay.
and I didn't even take any damage anyway, so it's fine.
yeah.
But thank you for reminding me.
Where'd the damage come from?
From last session, I didn't
Oh,
heal that up
we-
the entire way. We only traveled
spent-
3 days.
Right, you heal one every day, don't you?
I did.
Yeah, he was really
Oh.
injured. Well, compared
Really?
to,
Yes.
Yeah, he has an enormous wound track, which means he can take a lot of punishment.
Like
but also uses a lot of recovery time.
I started today's session with 5 wounds taken. I healed 3
I,
of
s-
those.
I suppose, yeah, your wounds maximum is so high, 5 didn't seem like a big deal.
It's like,
It was like, oh, he just has 5 wounds. It's low.
it's like whatever. I already used one
Like he-
stim last session. I'm like, I'll use another one. Come on.
Like, he's nowhere near dying in that situation, but it still takes him just as long to heal.
Yeah.
And he's constantly angry until it heals.
yeah. But anyways, that's other than that incident of girlish freakishness, girlish freak out, nothing else happens.
That's gender bias now.
Just a bit.
Well, I think it's more exposed skin bias.
Exposed skin with caustic spiders.
Yeah.
You don't know these ones are caustic.
They're
All
flammable,
spiders are
that's for sure.
caustic.
I think now the safe assumption is they devour thermal detonators, so trust nothing.
Trust nothing.
I think that they devoured the thermal detonators to gain their power.
Damn it, what if I started eating thermal detonators? Would
Oh.
I gain their power?
I
two of them you
don't
can test
think
it
you would
on.
gain
Jay,
their
give those over.
Anyways, you exit out of the Jeffries tube onto the floor with the bridge. Glowing signs say "bridge this way." Well, it's more of the light. The more the lights are on, and everything looks like it's well powered up here. If you didn't see the destruction down below, you would surmise that the ship was fine.
Almost like it landed on its belly.
Like, it really doesn't look like it has taken any damage up here. Is that
Yes.
right?
Is the ship at all tilted, or is it really flat?
It's tilted slightly to the side, but it's almost imperceptible.
Now, are
yeah,
there...
this thing's triangular.
Now,
like a
now that I
Star
know what
Destroyer.
to look for, are there any, like, spiders or, like, silken threads on the walls or ceiling? Around this tube?
They seem to be ever perceptible.
Okay.
They're always there.
Alright, got it.
But they're never in these sheer amounts that you saw in the engineering bay.
Alright.
Probably because they don't have all this wonderful energy-based crap to eat up here.
Got
Slowly.
a nasty feeling that
Or they
we're gonna
just
have to
haven't made their
use-
way up here yet.
Are you saying you've got a bad feeling about this?
I've got a bad feeling that we're going to have to use these thermal detonators.
How does that work with a droid, if you don't mind me asking, Jay?
Heuristics.
Haris. Rakcharr looks at Laana.
He has a random number generator that every once in a while pops up and says you should feel bad.
Got it.
Honestly, I'm surprised it doesn't go off more often with it.
It does. I just don't usually vocalize it.
Anyways, the door
Lana just shrugs, obviously having no clue herself.
to the bridge is open. Lights are on. Consoles are active. Some are turned off. Others look a little worse for wear. Probably just due to the time and maybe an errant spider bite here or there.
Gonna scan the area for threats.
You don't see anything. The glass in the front of you is kind of full of trees and broken, that viewport.
Gonna look for... I mean, I assume the commander's console's pretty obvious.
Yeah, it's the big seat area, The place where Darth Vader sits.
Are you saying this was Darth Vader's acclimator?
No.
They're all...
Or that it has a meditation chamber on the bridge?
listen, all of the Imperial ships are Darth Vader ships.
There's just
Well, I mean,
there's
like
a
his
commander's chair
flagship.
that looks a lot like the starship. Looks like the Captain Kirk's chair from the original series of Star Trek, because it's the only thing I can think of right now.
I love it.
It's got a
Well,
button.
should we start rooting around for information?
There's 3 consoles that look like they're fully powered and active right now, and maybe a couple others that can be turned on.
Time to look at the on one.
Don't forget the bridge codes.
Okay. Which one do you want to try? Do you want to try the one at the commander's chair, the one at the first officer's area, or just that random one by the security desk?
The security desk, because that guy's probably a lot more intelligent than either the first officer or the commander.
All right. I'm assuming you're using the security codes.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to lower the difficulty down from a 3 to a 2, and yeah, just a difficulty 2 computers check. Because you're in. All right. Security. It's mostly just security officers' logs telling you about how there's none of the defense systems are active. None of the defense systems are active or can be turned on. The anti-border systems have been utterly ruined, and what's left of them cannot be contacted.
Thank goodness.
And there's a couple logs talking about the flora and fauna of the planet.
Any mention of acid spiders?
No mention of acid spiders, actually. No mention of acid spiders, although
What about assassin spiders?
none of that. The logs end about a year after the crash, not continuing.
You think any of that flora and fauna whatever talk might be valuable to someone? Can we even sell that?
Possibly.
May as well take a copy.
The giant trees here are reminiscent of the Woshire trees of Kashyyyk, but of a slightly different genetic makeup. Blah 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 blah.
Too bad that doesn't mean shit to Rakcharr.
Whoa, sheer trees? What are those? I got no clue. Anyways, the information might be of use to someone, but, where to next?
Let's just work the way up the chain of command.
Okay. The first officer's logs are very apocalyptic, as if the crash has been the worst thing ever for his career.
In
Well,
general,
the end
Crash
of it.
being marooned on a planet is one of them.
He's more worried about, instead of survival, more worried about how it's going to reflect him as a first officer.
Great, wonderful.
He's not very helpful, although he does indicate a nagging feeling that there's more on this planet than meets the eye.
My God, it's
This-
a giant.
Transformers.
This message also ends abruptly after a year of being here, as if they decided to no longer live on the ship after a year.
So it didn't end in
No.
He fell over with his key or his finger on the H key.
I always love the textual only logs or like messages left for you to find that have some sort of shit.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you randomly just start slapping the keyboard with your dying hand.
Mm-hmm.
It always hits AGH. Exclamation point.
And
It's rigor mortis.
I'm guessing the commander's chair list.
Yeah, and then we'll try to power up the other ones. But the ones that are on, we want to use while they still have power if we end up diverting it.
Okay. There's a couple of video holographic messages. The first one is dated 6 months after the crash.
Oh, okay. So I'm not going to find, like, his HoloNet dating profile on this. Okay.
No. First off, this is the logs of the commander of the IAS adjudicator. This is Commander Biggs reporting. I have secured an area beyond the ship as a temporary home for the survivors and have moved those unfortunate casualties out of the ship out there. The ship is still dangerous following the crash. We don't know if the hyperdrive could blow up, or if any of our cargo could have broken out. None of it's dangerous. But you never know with a strange alien world. The next one is dated a year later. Commander Biggs here. We're not getting off this rock. I don't know how to tell the crew, but I think we're being watched. I don't know by what. It's definitely not it's definitely not animal in nature. Something intelligent is watching us. Whether from afar or close, I cannot tell. It's just itching at the back of my mind. It just sort of ends the thing. And the last message is dated 2 years ago. 2 years ago. What appears before you is not what you have associated the form of Commander Biggs, the generic human, but of a shriveled husk of a person who has a crazed look in its eyes. She whispers to me, "Soon they will come and make me join the one with the swarm." I don't know why I'm recording this. Oh, they'll come for me. Oh, they'll come. The swarm is almost here. Oh, the swarm. They'll come for me. They'll come for old Donnelly. He just sort of cackles maniacally. And that continues for about 5 minutes of cackling maniacally.
Poor Donnelly.
Well, at least he didn't end up with his eyes in his palms.
So can we find the flux manifold tachyon whatever.
We're looking for the slave circuit.
Yes,
Slave circuit, Rakcharr.
slave circuit. Yes, and can we?
The slave circuit is currently located in the navigator's chair at the front of the bridge area.
Well, let's chop it out and get out of here.
Well, I have some bad news for that.
It is literally a spider now.
No. No.
Okay, what is it?
No, I need you all to make coordination checks. Difficulty 2.
No.
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 Yeah.
Success!
Ow.
Jay's gonna take some
And
strength.
I faceplant.
Yes, Laana is currently knocked
What
prone by
causes
a
this?
massive explosion, taking out the foliage and what's left of the glass near the front of the bridge. And in what appear to be some sort of weird alien-type reptilian creatures.
With my advantage, I don't know. I sob.
You hear some sort of weird hissing type language coming from one of them as if it's ordering the others around. And you have no fucking clue what they're saying.
Don't I?
No.
Oh.
You've never encountered this fucking race before.
You know
To be
billions
fair-
of fucking languages.
To be fair, C-3PO had never encountered Ewoks either.
Yeah.
I think that there's a pretty significant amount of real-time language learning going on with that module.
It seems familiar to a language that you may have heard of, Barabel, but it's nowhere near the same at all. That's a reptilian language that's full of hisses and sisses.
Good thing the enhanced optics suite has recording devices that Rakcharr accidentally left on like all the time while he was fiddling with this.
He never heard of-
If we survive, he'll have like he can look at this for nightmare fuel every night.
The suit electronics are still in demo mode.
Demo man?
Jay's just like, the fuck?
I presume we're going for initiative here.
Yep.
Seems like it.
These are also diplomats, guys, in case you didn't.
They're explosively diplomatic.
All right.
Hey,
Damn it, guys, come on.
fantastically diplomatic, Jordan.
So there's no sort of darkness situation,
No,
is there?
the light from outside is coming in now.
In
I
that
will-
case,
Take the strain.
my advantages for vigilance there can go to finding like apparently like they're like the railing for like say like one of the chairs like maybe the commander's chair is like that chair is really strong, so it serves as exceptionally good cover for someone.
Me.
All right, works for me.
I took the strain, so we'll at least have one person go in before them.
And,
And they'll go.
let's see, is there
Almost.
anything I can spend my advantage on?
It would just basically be in the vigilance skill section.
Right, I'm scrolling to it right now. Do.
Dun 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 dun.
Like I'd forgotten about that the first session. I looked at it like to start it today, and I was like, oh yeah, right, these things. Like with advantages, you can just notice an environmental factor that could play a key part in the relevant scene, like excellent cover, a convenient escape route, or something that could be used to distract a foe.
I don't care that much.
All right. Well, you guys have one. You guys get to go before they get to go.
I say give it to Aaron.
Detonate it. Do it.
Fuck
No.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Number one, fuck no. Number two, the slave circuit's up there.
Jesus.
And that's why Aaron's character is holding on to the thermal detonate.